Yeah, we're live
Hi
now.
guys. Okay, awesome. Hi guys. Welcome to About the Mind. Today's topic is sexuality and friendship. So I would like to welcome Ashwin to the podcast. Welcome, Ashwin.
Thank you, Yuvraj.
Okay. So we discussed sexuality a bit in detail in the last podcast as well. But I figured that there were certain other aspects of it which were left undiscussed. So I thought let's just continue with the same. And
Sure.
plus, we have another topic on friendship. Okay.
Okay.
So my first question to you, Ashwin, is that is consumption of porn unhealthy?
Yeah, 100%. Because um, like I myself have been a consumer of porn, and this phenomenon happened when I was very young. Okay. Uh, Up to a certain age, I've seen the best of both worlds. I've seen a world. I'm of that age where I've seen a world where there was no porn, and all of our arousal and my initial puberty and everything was in the time when there was absolutely no porn, no access to porn, and this was in the 80s, then the 90s, where there was no internet at all. And the first time I saw someone naked was in 10th standard. I Somebody showed me a book, maybe 8th standard, 9th standard, I don't know, 8th class. Somebody showed me a book, and I was shocked. I was like, wow, what's going on here, right? So then I got caught with it by my principal, and then he took it, and he kept the book. He didn't return it.
Yeah.
So at this time, it did indeed harm my idea of what a woman is supposed to be like. uh,
Hmm.
I got an idea of I got the wrong idea of what sexuality is supposed to be like, and that
Hmm.
harmed many of my relationships. So I started thinking that it would be very easy to have a woman who's sexually excited about you, just because, like in porn, someone takes off their pants, and the woman is damn excited. Pizza delivery guy comes and she's excited that okay, burglar comes into
Yeah.
the room, and then she's excited that the burglar came. It gives you a wrong idea about women's sexuality. What turns women on is something we don't really understand by watching porn. And
Yeah.
I think we lose touch also with how we should be aroused as men. So
Hmm.
I don't know what's the effect of porn on women, because I haven't really looked into it. I haven't researched it, but I'm sure the effect is quite negative even for women, because we get so removed from our natural cycles of a turn on, right? So I would say, um, especially it's the young people who get attracted to porn and who get hooked to it, and it's a reward, you see. Without doing any work, you're getting the dopamine reward, as if a woman has accepted you as a sexual mate. There's a
Right.
reward. There's a reward which produces in our brain every time someone of the opposite sex, or whatever sex we are into, as soon as a sexual partner accepts our advances or our offer of sex, then we get rewarded in our brain, and we're getting this reward without doing the work. When we type in a URL, you're getting to the porn site, and you're getting all this reward from your brain without doing any work. So when you're actually called upon to do the work, like, do you know how hard a male bird has to work to get to mate, or any other male animal? They have to really fight, they have to
Yeah.
fight each other. That's why elephants have those tusks, and lions have the mane so that other male lions can't kill them. And um, and that's why humans have beard, I guess, men, so that
Yeah.
we're supposed to grow our beard so long so that nobody can hold our throat in a fight for mating, right?
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is why male deers have these big antlers and they keep fighting each other. Male goats have these big horns, and so on
Yeah.
and so forth. Walruses have the big teeth.
Yeah.
Why is all this? Why do only the males have all this? Because they're supposed to, at least in the mammals, the males are supposed to impress the female with a show of strength and fight each other off. But that still happens, by the way. That still happens. Men do fight off each other in order to get mating rights to a woman, and that's a natural process. But we've really forgotten about this whole process, and we are, quite happy with ourselves. And when the time comes when we find that we are in competition with another male, we have no idea what to do as men.
Mm.
And women also are kind of confused. They're like, oh, okay, now I'm not getting turned on by anything that the men are doing. And so I'm going to just like avoid it, or I'm going to just try, I'm going to experiment. Okay. So then they experiment with the wrong kind of person. And if there's some kind of wrong kind of person, like let's say a gangster or somebody that you get involved with in your experimentation, and then that person assumes that you're in love with him, and he
Yeah.
decides to take you. And it can lead to a rape, or it can lead to any kind of actions. So the overall influence of porn has been very negative. There have been some positive porn, which some people are making an effort to make positive porn, which shows all the hard work and which shows everything that has to go through before a sexual encounter can be consummated. So um, if you compare your results in real life with your results in porn, obviously then you'll start understanding that there's a difference between real life sexuality and porn sexuality. And also, some people get into fetishes and things like that, but I'm sure we'll speak about that, right?
Yeah.
So we get stuck into really uh, because the normal way of getting turned on doesn't work anymore. Because how much can you eat? If I make brinjal curry today and you like it, and then I make it again tomorrow, then again tomorrow, then again tomorrow, then again after that again, within like a few days you'll be like, I can't eat this anymore, right? So people have such a choice of porn that they're not getting turned on anymore, even with the porn. Then they'll have to go into some kind of wicked porn,
Yeah. Some
which is
extreme stuff.
extreme stuff, which is really harmful. If you would execute it in real life, it'd be really harmful. But then you'll start considering yourself, one of those people, and it's a big mess. Anyway, we'll get into it. What
Okay.
else?
Okay. So I asked this question because for the past 3, 4, 5 years, I've been noticing this trend on the internet mostly, but now it has evolved into more something called Nofap, as in where you stop stimulating yourself sexually
Hmm.
for an extended period of time. There
Hmm.
are some added benefit. But before I uh, ask about NoFap,
Hmm.
how effective it is, etc., I want to know, is sexual energy or sexuality associated with motivation itself in doing non-sexual things?
Yes, it is. So all motivational energy is the same energy. It's coming from sexuality. Okay, I have a stopgap arrangement for the light, and
Yeah.
yeah, I asked them for this. This is my light. I'm currently traveling, and I'm in a hotel room, so they didn't have enough lights, and then I asked them for this, and they were kind enough to give me a tube light on a wire. I don't know how they did it, but they did it, and here I am, all well lit. Anyway, so the things we have to do, huh,
Yeah.
to get the show going. I don't know how we do it every week, but it's happening. This is the ninth week, dude. Anyway,
Yeah.
so what was I saying about no, not no cap, but talking about sexuality itself and
And
how
motivation.
and motivation. So motivation is something it's linked to your sexual energy. And when I read test reports, testosterone is the hormone which makes you feel motivation. It's also the hormone which makes you feel arousal. Even in women, if you have low testosterone, you don't feel aroused. So it's that hormone. So basically, all motivation to get up and do things is because of testosterone, and this is a It's an androgen, and it's there in men and it's there in women also. And part of it goes to the brain and switches on certain circuits that get you turned on, right? So even when you're motivated to work out or you're motivated to build a practice or a business or make YouTube videos or whatever the hell you're motivated to do, it's because of the release of sexual hormones. So they're not different. And if you lose sexual hormones and you're losing interest in sex, you're also losing motivation in life. And so you're going to do things that you're not going to do new things. You won't have that courage and drive to do new things. The sexual drive and any other drive are actually the same hormones.
Okay. So, would it be fair to say, along these lines, that the very reason why do anything at all, at least biologically, is because we eventually want to find a mate? The classic evolutionary idea that
Mm.
I mean, the eventual purpose is to propagate your genes for evolution, for any,
I don't want to
whatever.
propagate my genes, man. Look, I'm almost 45 now, and I don't want to propagate my genes. I'm quite happy keeping my genes in my pants. But there are other things that I want to propagate, like good behavior in society, and kindness, and good cheer, and happiness. These are things I want to propagate, and but I'm using my sexual energy even for that. It needs sexual hormones even for that to happen. It cannot
Yeah,
happen. So, propagating genes is the last thing on anybody's mind right now. Because the world is so crowded. Why you want your genes to be running around anymore? It's enough, man. Like there are like mile-long traffic jams. Come to Manali and see during the season. Now it's okay, but during the season there are mile-long traffic jams. You want more genes in this world? Enough, man. How much more genes you want? So everybody should chill out now, okay? And have a child only if you can afford to pay for the child. Otherwise, don't just go on having children. It'll lead you to poverty. And a lot of people have been led to poverty. Do you know what the school fees and college fees are like nowadays? Think about it before you have a kid. Yeah,
plus
you really
donations.
need this. Like, ask yourself, why do I need this? And I ask myself, why do I need this? And the answer is like, you don't need it. So I'm like, oh, I don't need it. And yet, it's very easy to get caught up in this whole narrative story of how you'll be different from other parents and how you'll be able to manage. It's okay. People get caught up in that story, and then they produce children, and those children are neglected and not looked after, and bitter at the parents and become criminals. A lot of them attack themselves, not even others. They, yeah, they do like self harm and all that. And that's also like asked by the parents. If the parents are self harming, then the child ends up self harming, realize thinking that this is the way. The parents seek attention by self harming, and the child also seeks attention by self harming. That's why they learn it in the first place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's this idea that this sexual energy, it needs to be conserved
Yeah.
by not expending it in any other way except for the actual process of mating,
Okay.
as in with another person. So you shouldn't masturbate, you shouldn't, watch porn, you shouldn't do anything at all. And this
Mm.
whole concept of doing this, apparently, some people say that it has a lot of benefits. Some say it has spiritual benefits. Others say that it has at least motivational benefits. That you feel a lot of improvement in drive overall in
Mm.
life, and you are
Mm.
able to go and do things. And on the contrary, if you are abusing these things by watching too much porn or masturbating a lot, you tend to lose a lot of drive more than you would have if you hadn't involved in them at all.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's true because I can say this from personal experience. There was a time when my hormones were so high and all I could think of was sex, right? Especially when you're young, that's all you can think of. So I would spend like I got addicted to porn and masturbation, reward, 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 reward. You keep rewarding yourself. You can't do anything else. So I would sit to concentrate on my studies for some time, and then suddenly I would feel like now I should take a break, reward myself with a fap, and then go back to studying, and then try to study. Then I would use this as a reward to feel good. I didn't do very well in my exams. I did extremely badly in my exams, and I started waking up. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? And then when I stopped it, I found that I did very well in my exam. I topped the university because I just resisted it. And I realized I can't just resist things. I can just, it depends on where I project my mind, right? into the gutter or into somewhere good. So when I stopped projecting my mind into the gutter, I really actually could control it. There was a book written by a Ramakrishna Mission monk. It's called Letter to a Student, which is a pretty cool book. So I used to read that book. I mean, it's just a letter. It's just a letter booklet. So I would read that every day, and I would follow everything in that. And I, I, I really topped the university. I never got such good marks in my life after hitting puberty. You know why boys do bad in the exams? Because you get this rush of testosterone, which happens around the age of between 11 to 14 for most boys, and that rush creates a pathological interest in sex because the adults are also not discussing this anymore. Why am I so
Yeah.
bright? I think I'm too bright. Hang on. Yeah. Oops. Okay, it's hard to control the light with this thing. Anyway. Okay. So the adults are also like not interested. I mean, like
Not discussing sex.
not interested to talk about it. So they're like they also don't know. They're also lost. They don't know anything about sex.
Yeah.
They're also like confused and they're not feeling confident. People are getting married and then they're like contacting me and saying, I'm not feeling confident. I'm not feeling confident because I've never had sex before. I don't know what to do. But I've seen a lot of porn. So I'm really good on that. Why can't I just watch porn with my wife? You know?
Yeah.
So,
Why need to go through the hassle of
yeah.
going
So
through
when
that?
you have this whole rush of hormones, if you're able to still change your mind and say, I'm going after a goal, like I did, you'll top the university. There was some 3,000, 4,000, I don't know how many thousand people in the university. And me, who's never ever studied, who's never got any marks in my life since 10th standard, like I just scraped through, scraped through, scraped through. I topped the university. How did that happen? It happened because I just channeled that energy into a different way. So then I said, what will happen if I do this in other areas of my life? And I started doing this in other areas of my life. And whenever I felt the urge, I would ask myself, I would tell myself, "Oops, the light changed." Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I would tell myself that I shouldn't. I should concentrate my energy. And when I did that, it just started working. I I started a business at the age of 13, and then it became such a big success. And whatever I started touching, I could put my mind to it. I wanted to learn homeopathy. I learned it. I wanted to learn. So it became a polymath because I was able to control my sexual energy and I didn't throw it all into the toilet. So I think it's a good idea to not fap. I think it's a great idea. Then you'll know what other stuff to do. But it's just like any other addiction, right? When you're older, what people do is they start smoking pot. They sit and smoke pot, smoke pot, smoke pot, and then they're not interested to do anything at all.
Yeah.
And when they stop smoking pot, they find, wow, I'm so productive. How am I doing this? So it's just like any other addiction. You should not misuse it. You should not abuse this energy.
Okay. Okay. So that makes me ask another question, which I have seen a lot of people talk about in the context of this topic. It's called PiED, or porn-induced erectile dysfunction, which is
Mhm.
basically if a person has abused a lot of pornographic content,
Mhm.
they realize that when they eventually have a real interaction, they are not able to participate in it at all
Mhm.
because they need this a similar kind of stimulation which they were getting earlier
Mhm.
in order to be able to even be interested in the act itself. So, is this something which is porn induced, or are there any other underlying causes?
No, look, I think I think they're not able to because they don't find the women they're with attractive. Because they've seen so many attractive women in porn that they're
Hmm.
not able to appreciate the beauty of the woman that they're with. And that's the reason why it doesn't happen. So if a porn star came, then surely he would be aroused. So yeah, so they've actually meanly rejecting the person in front of them as if he's he's some kind of, I don't know, Kamdev. He's not.
Yeah.
You know, he's just as out of shape or misshapen as the woman who's with him. People don't have health. They don't have a good figure. They don't have a good body, and they're conscious about their body. And that whole energy of body negativity stops people from exploring each other's body and really enjoying it. Because Osho said there are four people in bed, like you and your partner, and then who your partner is imagining, the neighbor, and whom you're imagining. So your fantasy, her fantasy, or his fantasy, and you know, the two actual people. So there are actually four people in bed every time, and so this is not healthy. I think if you're not really being present and admiring the beauty of your partner, and you're not getting turned on by it, it's a problem. Okay, so porn-induced erectile dysfunction. It's not erectile dysfunction. Erectile dysfunction is the real thing. And in erectile dysfunction, you're actually mentally aroused, but you can't get it up, right? You can't have an erection. And this happens because of arterial damage. Your arteries have gotten damaged by either too much fat or smoking or too much consumption of toxins through beauty products and things like that, hair care products. You're just consuming a lot of toxins which damage your arteries, and when they damage your arteries, then there's a sticky substance which gets released. That sticky substance makes platelets to clump together and makes macrophages also to clump onto the platelets. Then they all go and clump onto the side of the artery, side wall. So like that, more and more and more clump up on top of each other, and the blood flow to the penis is cut off. So people have soft erections, or they get hard and they get soft during sex, or they don't get hard at all. And this is a very serious heart condition. It's a cardiovascular serious condition which would ring bells. If you're starting to get varicose veins, also it's the same thing. People with varicose veins usually have ED as well. They have them both together, and you should be very careful when these things come. Contact me and I'll help you to get rid of this. This is easily curable, easily fixable with diet and breathing exercises. And I've cured a lot of people of this problem. And masturbation also can lead to erectile dysfunction because you're handling your penis so hard that you start damaging arteries in it. Like you start damaging them, they get damaged, they never get a chance to heal. So each time you're working harder and harder to pump blood in, and this is also a problem. Okay, so you will never ever handle your penis the same way as you do in your hands when you have sex. It doesn't undergo those that much
Forces.
force and vibration as you do when you masturbate. So I think stop abusing yourself. That's why it's called self-abuse. Stop abusing yourself, and just stop, because you're hurting yourself, you're damaging yourself, and at the end of the day, it's not benefiting anyone. Nobody's having a good time because of this. Yeah.
Okay. So, this concept of nofap, is it anyway related to this ancient concept of brahmacharya? That one
Uh,
interpretation of it is that you should not have sex at all.
yeah, yeah. Well, I would say yes. I would say yes. Nofap is modern brahmacharya. And people have come upon this and they've experimented with this many years ago also, where, unnecessary sexual fantasy leads to you not being able to focus on your life. you know. So you don't really need porn. You can just start fantasizing on unreal things that are never going to happen sexually, and you can get lost in that world. You know. That's why we before we had porn, we had erotic drawings and erotic sculptures and erotic stuff,
Yeah.
paintings, right? Erotic paintings, and people would make those, and they would go on fapping to that, you know. And I remember doing this before porn. I was very good at drawing, so I would make erotic drawings, and I would get off to those things. And I was so distracted. I just didn't focus on anything else. But I got very good at drawing.
Yeah.
But those who are watching porn are not even getting good at drawing. It was
Yeah.
quite yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, what about these alternate uh, sexual, should I call it, deviations, like role plays and fetishes and all of that? Why are people attracted towards them?
I'm sorry to say this is because you aren't able to get turned on by simply the beauty of your partner. You're not able to appreciate it. You go to Himachal, you look at the mountains and you say how beautiful, but you look at your partner, you can't say how beautiful. You're not feeling that because you've desensitized yourself so much by exposing yourself to all kinds of ideas about what beauty is. You can't even hear someone's voice because you're listening to porn on low volume or no volume, and you don't find people's voice erotic anymore. And everything about us is erotic. Our voice, our smell, our hair, our eyes, our smile, the way we walk. We don't notice these things anymore about our partners. We're just not looking. We're not there. We're in our own head. We're on our cell phones. And then we're watching our partner's Instagram account, and then we're saying, "Oh, she's nice." Oh, it's so crazy, man. So I think we've really lost our senses. We don't have our senses anymore because unless it comes on our mobile phone, we cannot appreciate it. People go to Himachal, take a photo, and look at the photo, saying how beautiful. The real thing is there, man, and you don't find that beautiful. What about the smell, the breeze, the cold? What about all that? You know. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay. So, if anyone has any other question related to sexuality, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next topic, which is friendship.
oh yeah. So viewers, please say hello. I don't know who's here. Say hi if you're watching, and if you've got any questions, just type it in the chat box. So sorry to have ignored you for so long. Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, yeah, are you out of sexuality questions? It's all done. Okay, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, if you've got any more questions, guys, just type it in the chat box. I'm happy to answer. This is the only place you're going to get answers if you have questions. Hi, Smriti. Okay.
Okay, I have
I don't see any
one.
questions, so I think we can proceed. Sorry, you're saying
I have
something.
one question. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people, when I was doing research on this, I realized some people they say that when they try Nofap and stopping themselves from investing in porn, etc., some of them experience a lot of increase in anger, as in
Okay. It's called
they were.
sexual. It's a
Oh,
real
okay.
thing. It's a real
Why
thing
does okay? So
because yeah.
it's
Sorry.
different from the regular anger that we feel for people.
Yes, 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 yes. It's very different. It's very different from the regular anger that we feel. The regular anger which we feel is when we feel that we have had a loss which we did not deserve in some way. But here it's not about having a loss, it's about um being denied sex. So somebody who stops fapping becomes acutely aware that they're not successful sexually. And that creates anger against women. They feel like, why are you like, why can't you just have sex with me? And I've seen this in a lot of people, yeah, who don't have access to porn. So I think at one level, porn is saving people from this anger,
Like,
from being aware of this anger. But that's not a good thing because if the supply of porn goes away, then they realize how angry they actually are. Because every time you're sitting and masturbating, it's just some kind of pleasure. It's a high, just like a drug, but it's a dopamine high and a serotonin high that you get which falls down immediately. And it's not really healthy in the long term to be doing this, because you're messing with your neurotransmitters. You're rewarding yourself when you don't deserve it. And when you don't deserve it and you're used to getting a reward, and suddenly you say, oh my god, the only way I have to get rewarded is to actually go through the whole mating dance. And then you're like, I don't want to do that. I'm not equipped to do that. I've never seen anyone do it. I don't have any information about it. And so you get angry. Why has society left me so unequipped? And then you get pissed off like that. You feel that somebody has harmed you out there. And then you're angry. So some are angry with society, some are angry with girls. I wrote a book called Angry with Girls just about this.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, if anyone wants the book list, ask for the book in the comments and I'll send it to you. It's a very old book. I wrote it in 2013, 7 years ago. I wrote this
yeah,
book.
I read it. You sent it to me. I read it.
You read it? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
About your conversation with a few students, if I'm not
With
wrong.
young men, yeah, yeah, yeah. My
Yes.
conversation with young men. At that time, I was trying to solve the problem of sexual violence, and I came across this word sexual anger. I started understanding it, and then when I said sexual anger, a lot of men understood. They're like, "Yeah, yeah, I know what this is." So
Mm.
it's a very common thing. Almost every man is sexually angry because he's not getting the sex. He's not been equipped by his society and parents to get the sex. You know. Okay, good. I have a question. Anjal says, "Sir, thanks for the informative content." You're welcome, Anjal. Smriti says, "Even I read your book." Yeah, thanks. Thanks for reading it, Smriti. And how do I overcome anxiety while talking with girls? Just like you overcome anxiety of riding a cycle or going into the swimming pool and swimming, or doing anything for the first time, taking a flight for the first time. I remember first time when I went out of country, I was anxious. I didn't know like what to do, where, and whether they're going to let me go, or they'll give me a visa or what. I mean, I didn't have a visa. I was looking for visa on arrival, and I didn't know what would happen. What will they send me back? I was totally anxious, right? It's the same way. You don't know what's going to happen, but it's all right. Just go and present yourself anyway and expose your vulnerability, saying, I don't know why, but speaking to you is making me very anxious. Express it. And you can say, why? What happened? And you're like, I don't know. My society hasn't equipped me to speak with women, and somehow I think it's different from speaking to boys. So, is this? Do you think I should be anxious? Do you think you can punish me in any way? Because I'm really worried about you rejecting me for something, and you know, I know I'm whipping myself into this, but I just thought I'll share my vulnerability with you, and maybe that will relax things between us. Try talking like that. I mean, don't hide your vulnerabilities and puff your chest up and act like you have everything under control when you don't. Okay? So you need to go and practice talking to more women and then understand that women are just human beings, just like you. So it's just like talking to another male friend. It's no different, You don't have to go. Do you go try to impress your male friends? You don't have to just be yourself. You say something stupid and she finds it stupid, good. Then she's not really. I mean, you say something and she finds it stupid, and then she'll reject you. And so what, man? There'll be some people who really appreciate your humor or your words or whatever. You're lazy, no? You want to succeed with the first whatever it is. You know what? You can't succeed with your first marriage, your first business, and also your first conversation with anybody. I had severe crippling social anxiety when I was young because I used to stammer, and then people would judge me on that. When I stammer, I would make a face, and they would make that face back at me, and I would be like really like upset. Like my whole life, I've seen people make faces back at me. I only stopped stammering at 32. So I found the crippling social anxiety to even talk. I went to a radio show once and just blanked out. The the RJ is asking me a question and I can't reply because words are not coming. You know. So how do I overcome that? How am I talking to you now? Because of practice, just go and do it. Just go and do it. Go and do it and fail. Do it and fail. Do it and fail. Just like anything else in life. Okay. So don't look for some secret magic technique to suddenly become. Don't buy any courses and don't start reading books. how to win friends and influence people. Just talk normally like a human being. You can talk to the people in your house. You can talk to someone outside also. Okay, it's not any different. Just keep everything straight, and you learn lessons. Don't worry. You seem to be very young, Anjan. So don't worry. You'll grow older, and this will not be an issue at all. Okay, don't worry about it. I hope you're young. Okay.
One issue which I've noticed in similar cases where a person is afraid of talking to the opposite gender, and even I experienced it for a while when I was younger, is that there is no way to know why we were rejected because that conversation doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
So
That's not
how
supposed to be a conversation.
or
Nobody will reject you and say, okay, here are the reasons why I rejected you. Nobody's going to say that.
yeah.
Right? So, what's your question?
So how will you know what to change in yourself if it is something that is happening at your end?
Take a guess. Sit down and analyze it. Why did she reject me? Let me play it back. What did I look like? And you'll realize you look like a doofus. So, that's why, you know, would you want to talk to yourself? Please ask. Are you presenting yourself with those facial expressions and that joy in your life? You know, everybody wants to talk to you when you have relaxation and a smile and you're just like everything's under control. You look stable and you look safe. If you look stable and you look safe, most people will talk to you. You look approachable. But if you look like I don't know, man. You know what the faces people make when they're not confident is violent faces. Have you
Hmm.
noticed? When
Yeah.
somebody's not confident, they make violent faces, and that scares people. And then the others run away.
The shoulder also becomes
Yeah,
like this because
yeah,
of
I
a
like
lot of
this. I like this.
like they're
Like
going
you're
to
gonna,
attack someone.
you're gonna punch them, like a
Yeah.
boxer. Why are you talking to people like a boxer? Yeah,
Yeah.
don't talk to people like a boxer. Relax. There's nothing to box over here. Chill out. Chill out, man. Everybody needs to chill out. So much, big time. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's move on to the next topic. If there are
Yep.
no questions.
Yeah, sexuality, sexual fears, and anger, and everything is over, guys. Please watch the previous episode, and you'll also get some more information which we discussed over there. And if you have any questions, just leave it in the box. We'll answer it, even if we're in the middle of the next section. Okay, this is great. Let's start the next section.
Okay. So now my next question to you is there a purpose to friendship? From my personal experience, I've noticed that people become friends for a variety of reasons, not just one reason for everyone.
Hmm.
Uh, some do it to share pleasure, some do it to get help, maybe
Hmm.
through their life's problems and partner on it. Some do it because they have certain principles that there should be someone I can fall back on when I fail, so they can support me, etc. But
Hmm.
is there any other hidden purpose which may not have noticed, or is it just subjective? Like people make friendship based on their needs.
No, friendship is certainly based on needs. Okay, so I fulfill your need and you fulfill my need. If we are in a mutually need fulfilling relationship, it's beneficial to both of us. Then we'll be friends. It's sustainable. If we are continuously fulfilling each other's need, being of value to each other, then we have something called friendship, right? Like,
Yeah,
I asked you if you can help me find a house in Bhopal, and you said, okay, I'll do it. And then when you had some doubt about the mind, you asked me, and I'm helping you. So it's like a mutually beneficial kind of friendship that we have. So it's sustainable. We feel kindly towards each other and we prioritize each other's needs over, let's say, somebody random who's asking
yeah,
also for your help, right?
yeah,
So you would prioritize it in a particular way. So in that way, it's not any different from any other relationship, whether it's a client and a business relationship, where the business is fulfilling the needs of the client, and the client is fulfilling the needs of the business by paying it money. And any other relationship needs to be mutually beneficial, and every relationship needs to be friendly. Every relationship needs to be friendly, even if it's a romantic relationship, even if it's a parent child relationship. If there's no friendliness in that relationship, where your mistakes are forgiven and you are spoken to with respect, and you get the full attention of the person in front of you, you know and they're like giving you space to be who you want to be, and they are seeing you as you want to yourself to be seen. This is one of the major important things about friendship. You have to see the other person as they want to be seen, not how you want to see them. And you have to make a discipline of this, otherwise it won't work. So give me a second. I'm having a problem here where I have only one plug point and two things to plug in. So just I'll be back in a second. I have a solution for everything. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we gotta do, man. We solve problems, you know. Just a minute while I solve this problem. Looks like I've almost solved it. Hang on. And we're back online. Okay, good. Yeah, now my laptop's charging. All right, sorry for that. Let's go on. What were you
Okay.
saying?
We were talking about the purpose of friendship, as in why do people make friendships?
Yeah, yeah.
We were discussing that it's always and so yeah, so there's no one single purpose which is there throughout all friendships. It's very subjective, very context dependent.
Yes,
Why
yes,
people come
yes,
friends.
yes, yes. The day I insult you, or I speak badly to you, or I misbehave with you, or I take out my frustration on you, that friendship is ending on that day. Maybe they'll give you a chance. They'll say, "I'll come back and talk to you later," and then you can make it up with some apologies. But you can't do this every week.
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful how we deal with our friends.
Hmm.
It's
Some
not to
people
be
expect,
taken advantage, Yeah. Sorry.
some
Go
people
on.
expect it to be the status quo that uh, the parts of them they are not able to handle, they outsource it to another person that you handle it for me. That's
Hmm.
the basis of friendship. So like if I'm getting angry, you should understand that sometimes it happens and I'm going to let it out and you should be there, just listen, don't react, and then I'll be okay.
No, no. This is reserving your worst behavior for the people who like you best. Don't do that. Reserve your
Hmm.
best behavior for the people who like you best. And through your worst behavior, like stop behaving badly. You just don't need it. Why you need it? Why does anybody need bad behavior in their life? Because makes
Hmm.
them high. Like when you speak badly to someone, that makes means that you're superior to them, and you tell them off, and you're superior to them, and you're producing serotonin illegally. Like stop this illegal drugs. Stop all illegal drugs. Just stop it. Enough. I mean, all legal drugs as well. Just stop drugs.
Yeah, but then
All
that makes
drugs
me.
are giving you pleasure as a reward without doing the work for that pleasure. They're releasing dopamine and serotonin. Coke, cocaine releases big amounts of dopamine, and MDMA releases big amounts of serotonin, and so does smoking weed, and so does alcohol, and so does telling someone off also releases big amounts of serotonin. These are all drugs. So something is a drug when it illegally releases pleasurable neurotransmitters in you, and it's going to be a mess because then you won't know who you are anymore.
Hmm.
You'll have an exaggerated idea of yourself, and you're setting yourself up for depression because you don't have the abilities that you think you have, because you just
Hmm.
gotten off and you released all that serotonin, and you think, man, I'm so much better than I actually than people treat me, and then we get depressed. But you're not. People treat you how you are. It's a good idea to watch how people treat you and understand how you're presenting yourself to them. You know, you can't go on feeling that the world is unfair. Because then you won't have friends.
Yeah, because you'll expect everyone to treat you unfairly, and even if they treat you fairly, you still think they're treating you unfairly.
Yeah, that's a big problem. I had a breakup because of this. Because even though I was treating this person fairly, she thought I was treating her unfairly, and she kept on attacking me. Then I said, "Forget it. I can't do it anymore. I'm done." So you lose everybody good in your life if you do things like this.
Hmm.
There are no second chances after that. Because the person won't
Okay.
trust you. You know? I can't trust her anymore. So
Hmm.
I just stay away from that whole mess. I just stay away from the mess.
Hmm.
I don't want anything to do with it.
What do you think about the idea that you should try insulting someone, especially when you're inviting them to your life? Not insulting, but at least challenging their ego or attacking their ego to test whether they have a big ego or not. And if they do have a big ego and they react unfavorably, you can, select them to not be your friend anymore.
What bullshit, yeah. It's bullshit. Why are you judging people whether they have ego or not? You judge whether they're kind to you or not. What is it ego or not? What is ego? What is ego? People don't know. Go and catch someone and say, you know what is ego? They'll say, yeah, yeah. Okay, what does it tell me? They don't know. So they put it down as certain behaviors. But for me, ego is a set of principles that says um, I should get results even if I'm not skilled. I
Hmm.
should get results that skilled people get even though I don't have skills. This is ego, according to me. But that's not what people think ego is. They think ego is disagreement, and they think ego is ignorance. You know, some people are ignorant and they do stupid things, and you call it ego. But give them a break. They didn't know. Most people don't know what they're doing. Most people are sleepwalking through life. They're not aware of anything below their eyes. They don't have any awareness. They don't sit in their body. They don't do yogic practices. They don't work out. They don't take care of their body, and then they're just fading away in this whole uh, river of mortality, and they're all going to die soon. You know, it's not a good idea.
I suppose
Not a good place.
one one way how this could be understood is what the statement was that I'm testing for ego is that if a person is emotionally reactive to even smallest of jokes or light insults, they will
Right?
probably be emotionally reactive in the relationship, especially at crucial moments. So they cannot be relied upon.
How can you say that? You can't. You know, I saw it in a Hindi movie. You know, somebody rejects a suitor because he was bad to the waiter. So just because he's bad to the waiter, why is it echoing, man? Is it echoing for you?
No, no, no.
Okay. So just
Fine.
because he's bad to the waiter, does it mean he'll be bad to you?
Yeah, not
We
necessarily.
don't know this. We don't know this. Something has triggered him about the waiter. And what is it? You know, you can't say a person is a general asshole, like everything. It's not true. You know, even the worst murderers are nice to their dogs. You know,
Yeah.
we don't know. Anyway, so I think it's important to see how you are with each other and observe that, and also give it time, because people want to make a judgment and a decision after two meetings whether they should treat each other as friends.
Yeah.
I think give it time. Like let friendship prove itself over a period of time. Then only you know who's your friend and who's not. Otherwise, you'll just
Yeah.
be expecting friendly behavior from people who don't care about you, and they might have masked it because they want something from you temporarily. And then once they got it, then they don't care that much about you, right? When you're down, when you're out, I have had many times in my life when I had no health and I've crashed because of my health, or I've lost all my wealth and I've crashed out without any wealth. Then only I knew who are my real friends. Until then, I didn't know, because
Hmm.
those guys who helped me out then, they're the ones who I can rely upon even today. So I think it's important for you to be wiped out and crashed out, and then you'll realize who your friends are. Till then, you won't. If everything's
And
going good, then everybody's friendly with you. If you
yeah,
have
yeah.
your health, you have your money, you have your youth, you have your looks, then people are all good to you, no? You don't know
Yeah.
who you're helping. Yeah. When I was 57 kgs, looking like a cancer patient and half dying, that handful of people who stood by me. Handful. Until today, they're my dearest friends. And I know I can rely on these guys when there's trouble, because when there was trouble, I could rely on them. I was surprised actually who are the ones who were there for me. Not even my own family was there for me when I was really struggling. And I had issues of mental health, I had issues of physical health, I had issues of financial health, and there wasn't anybody who cared enough to do anything about it. And so I wrote them all off. I'm like, I don't expect anything. Do I still talk to these people? Yes, of course I do. But do I expect them to be there when things are bad? No, no, no. I know who's gonna jump off the ship when things are going bad. That's what it is.
So why do people care about each other? Like one reason is value, but we're not talking about those right now who are there for just for the value's sake. Like you said, like some people are there even in a bad time. So what exactly motivates them to do that?
There's something called kindness,
Hmm.
and that is a very important human behavior we have to learn. We have to learn to be kind to each other. When somebody is down, don't hit them. If you can't help them, don't hit them. Don't spit on them when they're down. You know, it sounds very simple lesson, but you'll be surprised how many people can't implement this. When you see someone down, they have to go and kick them. That's terrible, guys. Don't do it. That's not kindness. Now, if you can't help them, if it's beyond your means, at least go and have a conversation and say, "I'm really sorry, it's beyond my means. I, I do understand your situation. I know that does you no good, but at least I want to let you know that you have my solidarity, if not my help, and I'm not able to help because of these following vulnerabilities." And you can express your vulnerabilities to them, and then you can ask them, do you see any way in which I can help you? And then they'll say, no, I can't see any way because you're vulnerable yourself. So that kindness makes a huge difference. The person will remember you, and they'll produce good hormones in response.
Yeah.
It's so important, right? They're going to produce positive healing stuff just by the way you talk. Why can't we talk kindly to people? I don't know. It doesn't cost money. Just be kind. But
Because
that doesn't
people.
mean let people walk all over you either, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you can serve people from the overflow. This is what my teacher said. The first kindness has to be towards yourself. After some time, when you're kind to yourself, you'll be so full of it, full of kindness, that the kindness is overflowing, and everything that overflows is for others. So let's say your monthly expense is 1 lakh. When you make 1 lakh, then you feel secure. Then maybe you save another lakh, then you'll feel even more secure. When the third lakh comes to you, don't keep it. Give it to someone else who needs it. Give it off because you don't need it. I donated like 5 lakhs last month to people who needed it because I didn't need it. You know, give it to someone who I thought would really need it. And do you think they're my friend now? Of course they are, because I helped them with no expectation. I said, don't return it to me. It's all right. So what do you think? I'm not getting anything back from them, but people have helped me when I was down. I had spent all my money. I'd spent more than 12 lakhs on my health, and I was running out of money. And then there was some treatment where somebody said you should take nutraceutical injections, and then you'll be like drips, nutraceutical intravenous nutraceuticals, and then you'll get okay. So vitamin C and that and this and all sorts of amino acids and some shit was being injected into me, and each injection cost 30,000 rupees. I didn't have money, man. I needed to take 10 injections. Somebody gave me 3 lakhs, just like that. Said, take it. They want you alive. I said, don't you want the money back? I said, no, it's okay. Keep it. I have extra. It's all right. Somebody did that to me, man. And so when two people came to me yesterday, I gave, not yesterday, last month, I gave them 2.5 lakhs and 2.5 lakhs because I know I'm not getting anything back from this, but I had that extra 5 lakhs lying around. Now I don't have any extra 5 lakhs. So if you ask me, I don't have any money now to give. but I'm earning something, and this, as January ends, then February will start, and I'll get the fees of all my students, and I'll have a few extra lakhs lying around. And once my needs are fulfilled, and I don't need money, then I give it off. I don't need to keep it. Okay, that's called kindness. No, not many people understand. They go on storing their wealth infinitely. Like, why do you need so much money? I don't get it. Do look after your needs. Do look after your security. Do look after your future.
Yeah.
But people earn far more than they can spend in a lifetime. They earn so much and they don't want to give it away. So how you deal with your money shows how kind you are. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's how you'll be also with your words. If you got time, you'll start giving. You've got enough good words for yourself, and you're overflowing with your own love. Then you start giving other people kind words. Believe me, even if you don't have money to give, you can give kind words to people. And if you can't give, then you can express your vulnerability and tell them, you can give them an explanation why you're not able to give. And sometimes people solve that problem. They say, but you can give me this, and then this will happen, and then you'll still have money. And then I'm like, oh, okay, fine, then you can take the money or whatever. But kind words, very important. Don't push someone down who's already like this. Go and tell them. Don't go push them down. Don't squish them. Encourage them. Encouragement is the spine of kindness. If kindness is the beam, then encouragement is the spine. Yeah.
I suppose we can make this as a standard for a good friendship, that if you are finding people being kind to you, then you're probably in the right company,
Yeah.
especially when you are in trouble.
No one puts you down. A real friend never
Yeah.
puts you down.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So I have this question on loyalty, because again, this is something which I've noticed in a lot of people, where they expect uh, unconditional loyalty,
Hmm.
which in retrospect I suppose is because of fear of abandonment, but I'm not sure. So this unconditional loyalty is the expectation that even when they are doing something wrong, which they're not supposed to be doing, even when they are doing something maybe unethical, you should stand by me,
Hmm.
no matter what.
Hmm.
So what do you think about that? I always found that idea very uncomfortable, but then
It
people I
is.
had good friendship with, they started rejecting me when I refused to,
It's
say that
okay.
I
You don't
cannot
need
stand
to
by this.
defend. I agree with you. I think if somebody is doing something stupid, like just yesterday, I was telling someone, you're doing something really stupid, and I'm telling you because I'm your friend. So don't do the stupid shit, man. Because I can see where it's going. I stopped two guys from smoking yesterday. Like two guys. You know who you are if you're watching this. Why would I do that unless I was their friend, unless I cared? So I did it. I got nothing out of it, nothing extra, nothing at all. But nobody's told them in their whole life with care the reasons why they should stop smoking. Nobody's explained it to them. And I think that's important to also, then they would have felt that I'm not loyal, no? They could have. They could have done that. They're like, hey man, you don't support me. You don't let me do what I want to do. You're intruding on my freedom. None of that I got back from them because it came from a genuine place. I'm like, I know nobody's told you that, you know, you're important, but you're important. And stop smoking because you're not going to be around to be important anymore if you smoke. So stop it. I think it's super important to give feedback and risk being called disloyal and not support bullshit in a friendship. It's very important. If the friendship breaks because you didn't support the bullshit, it wasn't a friendship, let it break. It's okay. And I expect that from my friends. If I'm doing something stupid, I expect them to tell me that. If they didn't tell me, then I don't consider them much of a friend. Like you saw me going downhill, why didn't you tell me? I had no idea. I was too high. I had no idea. Yeah, it's a friend's duty to tell you when you're doing stupid shit. So loyalty and unconditional loyalty and support. It's not friendship. That's just sycophancy. Sycophancy. You don't want that. Smriti saying knowledge bombs. Thanks, Smriti. What else?
So there's this another aspect of to friendship, which is respect. Since we talked about insulting each other, and in the last podcast also we discussed that how a lot of people in relationship think that when they are insulting each other, that's because they actually love each other, or that's a proof for love in some way. Because they can take the liberty with each other, but they cannot take it with other people. So it is love. That's the logic. That's what I understand.
Logic, yeah. Liberty. I can take liberties with you, therefore I'm close to you. This is like those people, how badly, when someone dies, if you recover fast, when my father died, I recovered fast, and it was not an issue for me. I could easily accept it. A lot of people concluded that I didn't care about it. That's pretty stupid, right? How you judge your love by how much the person is affected by you not being there. It's the same idiots who think that by insulting someone and I can take liberties with you, I can call you names, I can treat you without respect because I'm close to you. You judge closeness by how badly you can behave with someone. What the hell is wrong with you? What kind of people are these? I don't want to be friends with any of them. You treat me with dignity. You treat me with more dignity because I'm your friend. Yeah, don't act like I don't know. You know, when we were kids, we used to insult each other, and that's because we really hated each other. But then you grow up with a set of people who hate you, who go on insulting you, and then you feel that this is love. And then to add to the confusion, there are movies that kind of propagate this, and everybody is so confused. They think
Kabir Singh.
that, come on, man, if you're doing things, yeah, Kabir Singh, and I was going to say Arjun Reddy, but it's the same thing. Uh, so why are we why are we not feeling that the other person is not comfortable? Nobody's laughing, even we call it ragging, we call it leg pulling, and we call it things like that. But we're so we can't we can't sustain that because people do get hurt. You can't go on hurting someone every day. You have to stop it. That's not friendship. Please, if you're confused that you have the liberty to insult someone and therefore they're your friend, just take a brick and then hit it on your head 3, 4 times. And do you feel friendship for yourself when you hurt yourself? Like, what do you feel, man? Feel pain. That's what you feel. Drop a stone on your leg. That's what your friend is feeling. The literally same pathways in the brain. When you call someone a name or you drop a stone on their leg, it's the same feeling inside. That much pain they're feeling. And do you think this person is going to enjoy? He's just going to avoid you. He went on insulting them, calling people names, and everybody laughs. you know, what is the person being called names react? I mean, inside he's saying bastards, but outside he'll be like, because he doesn't want to get insulted further. And then it just keeps going on. It's a vicious cycle. It's called bullying. Bullies. Why are people bullies? Because they haven't got respect and love from their parents. That's why they're bullies. Or from those who are supposed to care for them, only insulted them. So they think this is it. You know, I was in a relationship recently, and then this woman went on insulting me, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? It's like this is called tough love. I'm like, what? Get out. And then I came back home. I said, enough of this shit. I'm so over with this. Psychos, people who are like psychotic should not be in relationships. Yeah, if somebody's going on insulting you, then Throw them out of your life. Have the guts to do that. You don't need this. Why do you need this? Why do you need someone who goes on insulting in your life? Why?
It starts with the insult, and I've noticed that eventually the relationship becomes about passive aggression. And
Yeah,
because you cannot be directly aggressive, you hide it in humor,
yeah, yeah.
mockery, insult,
Mockery, not
and
humor, not humorous.
mockery. And
Yeah,
the
exactly.
other person is supposed to be, they should accept it because we are having fun, right? Yeah.
Passive aggression is like stabbing someone after wrapping a knife in silk. They're still going to bleed, right?
Yeah.
So what's the point? You actually stab them, man. So if somebody's passive aggressive with me, I'm like, hey, this is what you said, you know. They didn't use the word, but I repeated to them what you actually said. This is what you said when they're passive aggressive. Somebody said you're being passive aggressive, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm never passive aggressive. I'll tell you to your face that you're an idiot. I don't have to be passive aggressive. Just be aggressive if you have to, but don't be passive aggressive. Sometimes you have to be aggressive to defend yourself. I have people who just come and vomit everything on my head, and I'm like, what? What about me? Like they know that I'm a giving person, they know that I'm a kind person, they know that I'm an encouraging person. So they come and vomit all their bad behavior on me. I'm like, that's not happening. Get out. I throw them out. For some people, I give them a break. I'm like, I'll talk to you after this date. Let's talk then. And let's see if you learned something. But some people I had to throw them out right away. Like I had to do it last month. I had a client who just went on attacking me for no reason. I'm like, hey, come here. Give me your bank account details. Take your refund. Off. That's it. So good
So,
behavior and kind behavior is the essence of every friendship. Encouraging behavior, no matter what.
how do you communicate boundaries in a way that the other person is does not see it as a threat? Because people have traumas, etc. Sometimes they get triggered.
Hmm. Okay,
So,
number one, when you're not mentally healthy, don't get into any kind of relationship. First, fix your mental health problems. Okay? It's okay for you to be mentally unhealthy, but you're just not capable. Like, if your leg is broken, will you run in a running race?
yeah.
No, you just sit and wait for it to heal and then you'll run, right? So, same, if you're mentally unhealthy, don't expect to be in a relationship. Why do we treat the mind like as if it can heal itself? It can't. It needs healing just like any other organ. So get healing first. So that's very important, you know. And you don't have to sit and forgive somebody who's misbehaved with you because they had a mental problem. You say you're not ready for a relationship. I don't hold it personally against you. So please deal with your mental problem first. You really have this. I'm telling you this as a friend. You can take my advice or you can piss all over it. Whatever you want to do, do. But I don't want to have anything to do with you. Thank you very much. Goodbye. And you can reject them that way. And that's a kind way to do it because you're expressing your vulnerability. You're saying, I can't handle it. I can't. Take responsibility for it. Don't say, you are this, you are that, you are that. Say, I am this, I am that, I am this. I am feeling this, I am feeling that. And that's the reason I can't do it. So express what's going on with you. You don't have to talk about you are this and you are that. You don't need to do that. You say, I can't handle this anymore. Even when I broke up in August, what I said is, I can't handle it. You're fully free to do as you wish to do, but I can't handle it. So I'm not interested to handle it also. So I'm leaving. Then also people don't listen, you know. So what we do is we protect ourselves with karma visarjana. We take out the runanubandha karma and throw it out. And once we take out the runanubandha and throw it out, the person kind of calms down, and it's much easier to break up. So
Yeah.
sometimes you need to, so sometimes you know if you're rejecting someone, you're basically breaking up with them. I hope you know this. Many people
But
didn't realize it. Even I didn't realize it for many days. Yeah, because
Yeah.
when I thought I should be able to disagree and reject somebody's ideas, and then we should still have a good relationship. It's not going to happen. If you reject
Right.
someone's ideas and you are not seeing their point of view and they're not seeing your point of view, you've already broken up. You're no longer in the same track. You don't see eye to eye about things. It's not possible to have friendship with people with whom you have a disagreement. But this nobody tells you. They continue to try with some ideal. First of all, friendship is agreement. Let's understand this. You don't want your friend to sit and disagree with you. That's not why you're in a friendship. Okay, you do want them to tell you when you're being bad and you're being stupid. And like I told these guys, you shouldn't smoke. I am disagreeing with them, but we discussed it until we came to agreement. Right? Either I would have to agree and then take a cigarette myself, or they would have to agree to me and stop smoking. It came to that. We can't say, "Hey, I'll continue smoking," and then I'll say, "No, you shouldn't smoke," and then we'll be friends after that. Is it possible? It's not possible. We can't be friends after that if we don't agree on a basic thing. That I find you valuable. Don't kill yourself and stop smoking. And then you're like, but then you're not giving me a liberty to kill myself. What is this? If you're depressed, don't be in a relationship. So anyway, they got to see it, and you've got to present your case in such a way that they see it, right? So I have researched everything about smoking. I'm not just saying it. I'm saying exactly this happens, this happens, this happens, and they're seeing the symptoms in themselves. Yeah, they're seeing the soft erections, and they're thinking, "Oh, yeah, it's really affecting me," and then they stop. You know, totally. Right? Priyamada has a question. Shall I take it?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Priyamada. Is it okay for a yoga teacher to body shame a student when the student is clearly uncomfortable? People who I told this to told me I should be yogic and not react, but I could not accept him as my teacher, so I discontinued his class. Yeah, it's definitely related. Respect is the basis of any relationship, and especially as a teacher of physical science, you get people who are not in shape, right? Like, uh, I take a class every morning. Almost now 80 people attend my class, and I see them moving, and they are in bad shape, but that doesn't build any negativity in me because I started there. I also was in bad shape when I started last year. I was in really bad shape. So when I see someone not moving, I'm like, I see myself. I have that empathy. So it's important for a teacher to remember where they came from. They didn't come out with full physical form, right? They started somewhere, and to shame someone just because you're a bad teacher, you're not able to teach. You're not able to convey how you can, the way you can move, you can't convey to that person. So you're not losing anything by not learning from this person. Don't worry about it. You did the right thing. There are 100 other teachers who can respect you. Respect is the basis of all relationship, even if it's a student-teacher relationship. Somehow we think in this country that teachers can behave however they want. Teachers and parents can behave however they want. They can't. You should hold them accountable.
And even employers at times.
Employers, yes, they can't behave however they want. Respect is the basis.
Yeah. Yeah. So this quality of being able to be honest to yourself and be able to reflect on your actions is very necessary to be present when you are inviting someone. I mean, in the other person, when you're inviting them to be your friend. Otherwise, they won't be able to reflect even if you present the case, and they'll keep on. I mean, eventually disagreement will happen.
Yeah, yeah. So just like I gave the example of smoking, I have a PhD on smoking. In fact, this Saturday I might do a session on smoking. I've been a smoker myself, and I quit it, and I know all the effects that have happened. And I wouldn't quit it unless I had to. So when I speak from a place of authority. Expecting someone to agree with you when you are not an authority. So before
Hmm.
you speak, you should develop that authority and then you speak. Otherwise, why are you disagreeing? Don't disagree.
Yeah.
Say, yeah, I can't disagree with you because there's no reason to disagree with you. I don't have any reason to disagree with you other than my ego is hurt. Keep your ego out of friendship. You know, if you're shown that you're wrong, then say I'm wrong. Cool. That's it, right? I mean, we're all clumsy, man. I'm so clumsy. Look at me struggling with this light and some switch, and I didn't think of that. And I've been podcasting now for more than a year, and I'm still clumsy. So I don't. It's my vulnerability, and I'm okay with it. If next time I'll try to be better. Each time I try to be better. So that's what it is, right? That's how you show up even in a relationship. You agree when you messed up. Then you say, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I got it. And you try to correct it. The best apology is improved behavior.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember saying, "Thank you so much, Ashwin. You're the first one who said I did the right thing." Really? That's what people said. He's a teacher, so he cannot be wrong. That's really bad. Yeah, it's a big psychosis in this country. Thinking teachers can do no wrong. I've had so much wrong done to me by so many teachers I can't even list it. Yeah, teachers have behaved really badly.
Okay. So I have one more question, Ashwin. Do you have
Yeah,
time? Because we have already
yeah. I
gone
have to
over
be at
1 hour.
9, so I have maybe 5 minutes more.
Okay. Okay. So there's this idea which often intrigued me, which I disagreed with initially in my initial years, say in teens, etc. But then I had certain experiences which always make me wonder whether is this the case. The idea is that familiarity breeds contempt. That if you are friends with a person and you suppose become too close to them, say they start living with you, or you start go and study with them, and you actually come to know who they are, even with even more intensity,
Yeah,
you will tend to dislike them
yeah.
eventually.
This is true. You know why?
Why?
Because you are giving up your personal space and not having boundaries. Then you'll feel that you're overstretching yourself and giving too much. And then you'll start feeling this contempt. You start feeling anger towards them. If you have proper boundaries, this will never happen. Like, do you
Yeah.
know that all couples sleep in the same room? Like most
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
And they're constantly in each other's face, crossing each other's boundaries. They don't have the privacy to do whatever the hell they want in their room without their partner looking over their shoulder. And then they start resenting them for the lack of privacy. So you're
Yeah.
just. The first time I saw a couple who didn't sleep in the same room was my friend's parents, and I thought they were going to get divorced. I'm like, dude, your parents don't sleep in the same room. Do they get along? And he said, yeah, they're doing great. I mean, what's the problem? And I couldn't believe it. I said, no, you're lying. You're in denial, is what I told him. But his parents are still going strong, right? And I had a divorce, and I had a breakup, and I had so many breakups, and they're still going on. That couple, it's quite amazing,
Yeah.
because they gave each other space. They're the first couple I saw who gave each other space. They didn't sleep in the same room, and this is so important because then you don't know what's yours anymore, right? The last time I had a relationship, I was still doing this bullshit of sleeping in the same room, and then that room became something that's not to my taste. So I was not feeling at home in that room. Glass things all over. Me and my karlakates, and there's glass things all over, crystals all over the place. I'm like, I'm going to break one of these one day. And I walk like this, and I just small bump. I'm not some dainty ballet dancer, so I can't go in between the things. Right? So I was feeling so uncomfortable and restricted in that room. I was feeling terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I've done a lot of horrible things. So I don't even want to get into them. There's so many things that I've been made to do that I didn't want to do in the name of love.
Yeah.
You know? And I think we should be very careful about this. Familiarity does breed contempt if you don't have proper boundaries. I think it's very important that both you and your partners and your friends all decide what is good for you and don't go out of that zone and be uncomfortable.
And to establish boundaries, you also need to be sure that you are healed completely. Otherwise, you will start expecting irrational things from people.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I gave you the
I have
example,
this
right?
boundary with everyone. So some people just call me up. They just met me and they're feeling anxious and they're now my patient, and then they call me up at 6 in the morning and I'm like, no, it's not happening. I don't receive the call. I said, you had to text me first. I don't care if it's an emergency. Text me first. I mean, if it is an emergency, yeah, I do understand. But what kind of emergency do you have that you have to call me up like that? You know? And if there are some people when I'm in the middle of a session and they call, and then I cut the call and they call again. Then I tell them, listen, if I cut the call, it means I can't take your call and I'll call you back. So why are you calling again? I ask them, I tell them this, that, you violated. They don't know, right? So I don't have to tell them angrily. I'll tell them, listen, this is how it is with me. I'm always in the middle of some podcast or meeting or something. So don't call whenever you want. I don't have that much time. Always text me in advance and call me when I give you permission to call me. Is that okay? Most people are okay with that. They're like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Because they're treating me like they treat their wife or their husband.
Yeah.
And they think it's love. Well, that's not love. When you want to talk what the other person will think of it, we can be straight and speak what we want. When you want to talk what the other person will think of it, you can be straight and always be straight and speak what you want. I didn't fully understand what you said. I'm sorry, but yeah, the last part is correct. Always talk straight. Don't beat about the bush when you have to set boundaries. You say, hey man, what you're doing is causing me this problem. What do you want to do about it? And they'll be like, stop doing it. Good choice. Stop doing it. Express your vulnerabilities. Don't tell them what to do. Don't tell anyone what to do. Express your vulnerabilities and see if they can respect it. If they're able to respect your vulnerabilities, that relationship is on. Otherwise, there always is the block button in every social media. You can block the person out of your life. Just block them.
Some people think that, if you make an exception once, so it's a given that you'll make it again.
If you make an exception,
Yeah,
don't
suppose
make exceptions to your boundaries. Yeah, I mean, anybody will think that, right? You know the story of the camel who wanted to get into the tent. He told his master, Master, it's the sandstorm outside. Can I put my nose in because it's hurting my nostrils?" And he said, "Okay, put your nose in." He said, "Master, it's hurting my neck also. Can I put my neck in?" Put the neck in. And then finally puts his hump in. And then the whole tent is gone. Then the owner is outside and the camel is inside the tent.
yeah.
So don't encourage the camel. Yeah, when it puts its nose in, only say, "Look, you're a camel. Close your nose and sit outside." Camels can close their nose, right?
Yeah. When they breathe, they move. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's to face the dust storms. They're equipped for that. So say, sit outside. No tent for you. Be clear about it.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so if any of you guys have a question, Ashwin, do you have time to take more questions? All right.
Yeah, I have like 3-4 minutes, so I have to go at 9.
Okay. So you can type in the chat box.
A quick question, please ask. Otherwise, we'll be done for today, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it was a long session.
Yeah, it was an awesome session.
Anyway, thank you for sticking around. I hope you all learned something. If you want to tell us if you learned something, you want to tell us what you learned, you can type that in the chat box yourself. If you got value, type GV. And if you don't have any questions, type NQGV. No questions, but got value. All right. And then we'll call it a day. Yeah, Smithy says, thank you. Awesome session again. Yeah, thanks, Smithy. And Sonal says, thank you. All right, great. Okay, I think we should call it a day. Oh, when my phone rings, it rings on my computer as well. Anyway. Cool.
Fine. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining.
There's a question from Sonal. Says, with anyone, can you be straight? Yes, always with everybody. Be straight, express your vulnerabilities, and say no. Say no. Say no. Just say no. Okay? So somebody says, can I come and stay in your house when you yourself don't have any money? Then you say, no, I actually have no money. So, but I helped you in the past. Then, so now you should help me. I say, in the past when you helped me, you had the bandwidth to help me. Now I don't have the bandwidth to help you. I'm really sorry. Look, I want to help you, but I can't help you. But here's what I think you can do. So use your brain. Maybe they're not thinking straight. Use your brain and tell them maybe you can do this, 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 and then you can get out of your problem. So try your best to solve it. If you can't solve it, when you yourself are in trouble, you only can't swim. You're drowning. Somebody else is drowning over there. You will both drown together if that happens. So be very careful. All right. Great. Yes, thank you. No questions. Got value. Okay, great. All right. Let's end now, Yuvraj. I really got to run. I got like 2 minutes for my next session. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we'll see you again next week, right?
Yep. Next
All
week's
right.
Thursday.
With more questions about the mind. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Thanks,
Thank you.
Yuvraj. Bye.
Thank you, Ashwin.